All right, I want to go a little bit more into detail about this money equaling time thing, right? What I really mean is once you run out of time, once you run out of money, thereby running out of time, that's when it's time for you to get a job or a 9 to 5 or a part-time income or something along those lines. And I know that I'm trying to help you get away from a 9 to 5, get away from traditional employment. But I never want you to think that it's bad to make a tactical retreat, right? Think about it like this. Your emergency fund, your 3 months of expenses is like your life bar, right? It's like a video game. So when your life bar gets down to 0, it's game over, right? Here's the thing. It's okay. You can continue, right? But you might just need to replenish that bar first. And the easiest way to do that is just to go back to work or get some type of part-time employment, or maybe do a remote job somewhere, or remote employment to where you can kind of do something for the job, but also do something for your business. You get what I'm saying? Something where you're not trapped in a store or, somewhere where you could actually have some flexibility to continue doing your dream or your passion or your side hustle or your business. Okay. But again, your money in the bank is your life bar, right? That's your time. So if you have $3,000 and your expenses are $3,000 a month, that means you have 1 month. You really need at least 3 months. So in that case, you need $9,000. So $9,000 is a full life bar, right? Now, if you get more than that, then you can have extra life. That's great. But 3 months minimum, that's your full life bar. Now, sometimes when you're trying to do your business, you might dip under that, maybe get to like 2 months, 1 month. But once you start getting under 1 month, that's when you know either one, you may need a little bit more time to figure out how your customers interact with you and what they want in order to increase your sales, or it might be time to look into potentially getting some part-time work so that you don't go all the way to 0, right? I don't want you to go all the way to 0 and then do something. Once you start getting under a month, that's your trigger to say, okay, what part-time thing can I do to keep me above 0? Because once you go to 0, you got to get a job. Right? You may have obligations like a family or people you take care of. I don't want you to go to 0 because that's all kind of stress and it's bad once you go to 0. So try to do your best to stay above 0. Do whatever you got to do. Get some extra work. I know I'm kind of hard on DoorDash and Uber and all that stuff and Lyft, but do what you got to do to stay above 0. You don't want to go below that. Okay. But again, 3 months, that's your full life bar. Anything under that, it's okay, but the goal is to keep it at least 3 months at all times. Now, here's one thing, right? For most of us, a dollar amount represents some type of psychological thing to us, right? Depending on how you grew up. When I grew up, I didn't have a lot of money, okay? So if you told me you were giving me $1,000, that seemed like a big deal when I was younger. Then when I got a little older, it was like, okay, 5,000 is a lot of money. And then I got a little older than that, and it's like, okay, 10,000 is a lot of money. If I had $10,000 in my account, I'd be good. But what I didn't realize is that at that point in my life, my expenses were about $2,500 a month. So $10,000 was only 4 months. Are you starting to see what I'm saying? In my mind, $10,000 seemed like this huge amount of money, but it really only represented 4 months. That meant if I had stopped working that day, I'd have 4 months to chill before I'm out of money again, right? And this is the most crucial concept of this whole thing. This is what kept me going for 15 years, is understanding this money is time concept. So when I looked at my checking account, I didn't see a dollar amount. I said, oh snap, I'm down to 2.5 months. I got to do something. I got to make some phone calls. I got to go to some networking events to get more work. And then I get some jobs and I get a big job or a nice chunk of change, and I take some of that money and stick it back into my emergency savings fund, right? Because my whole thing was, as long as I had 3 months worth of money in there, I felt okay, right? Now, when I got married, I felt like I needed more. So I started making it like, okay, I need 5 months. Then I got a kid. Then I was like, okay, I need 6 months, right? The more my obligations crept up on me, the longer I felt that I needed to feel okay, right? Because that's really all it is. When I was younger, $10,000, like the dollar amount, made me feel okay because it seemed like a lot of money. But when I did the math on it and I started doing this business stuff for myself, I realized that that money wouldn't last me a long time. So I had to really rethink about what I thought about money, as far as like seeing a dollar amount in my account and saying, okay, that's good and that's impressive and I feel good, to how many months is this dollar amount representing, right? How many months is this? Is this 6 months? Is this 2 months? Is this 1 month? If it's anything less than 3 months, I need to get out there and hustle and do more for my business. Get out from behind my computer, go to some networking events, go talk to some people, like use social media, do whatever I got to do, because I would get into this habit of, I'm gonna work on my website today, or I'll do something in my office today, with office being my house, right? I did have a business space at one point, but not until later. So initially I was just in my house. So I was in my house on my computer thinking I was working, but my money was just going from 3 months to 2.5 months. And you see what I'm saying? I'm not using dollar amounts anymore because I know it's months. It's 2.5 months, 2 months. And when I got to 1.5 months, I said, okay, I have to get out there and do something to bring in some more revenue. I went out and it took about another month. And I was down to like half a month, and then I got a big job and that put me back up to about 2.5 months, right? But you see what I'm saying? You see how I'm speaking about money? Not dollars, months. And the only way to really increase the time you have is to put more money into that account, or by reducing your expenses. And if you can do both, if you can lower your expenses, and I mean, like, if you have a nice car, let's say you have a luxury car like a Lexus or something nice, and your car payment's like $400, $500, well, maybe, I mean, it's not so easy to downgrade if you have a loan, right? So I don't want to make it seem like it's just this easy thing, but anything you can do to reduce your expenses, do that, right? I say getting a roommate, that's not always the easiest thing. It's not always the best idea. If you can trade in your car, cool. But again, these aren't super simple solutions, but anything you can do to lower your expenses also buys you time, because now the dollar amount you need buys you more time, right? Because so if you lower your expenses to $2,500 from $3,000, well, that $500 now bought you a little bit more time. So if you have $10,000, that gets you 4 months, versus whether you have $3,000, that only has like 3 months and a week, or 3 months and some change. You get what I'm saying? The lower your expenses are, the longer your money can stretch, right? So the idea is make more money, but also lower your expenses. That's the key. Do both. Make more money, lower your expenses, right? They say live below your means, however you want to look at it. But I'm saying it from a strategic standpoint. I don't really care about living below your means. I want you to last longer so that your business has more of a chance to like launch, right? So lower your expenses, make more money, always keep 3 months, right? And if you can add months to it, great. You start having kids, you start getting married, you need more than 3 months, right? But if you have a lot of expenses and your expenses are really high and you're spending like $5,000 a month for some reason, maybe you live in New York or LA, well, once you get to 6 months, you're talking $30,000. It's a lot of money, okay? I don't expect anyone just to be chilling on $30,000 when they're just starting out, okay? But maybe you do, all right? But the reason I want you to think about it like a health bar, right, is because when you go to zero, that's your trigger to have a tactical retreat, okay? You get close, you get under a month, try to bring in some part-time income. If you hit zero, tactical retreat. It's totally okay to temporarily get some work, find some remote work or whatever. It's totally fine. You can always come back, but the idea is to replenish that life bar so you can go back out there and fight, okay? Don't try to fight when you're negative, because that's when you start having to get credit card debt and credit card loans and title ponds and donating blood for money. Like, that's bad. You don't want to get into the negative below zero territory, okay? Stay out of that. Stay out of there. It's bad. Anyway, I think that's all for now. I just wanted to give you that, give you more of like the reason why I think money is time is because it gives you an understanding of How much time do I have before I have to go to work or do something to get back on track so that I'm not starving, dying, freaking out, panicking, right? You need a certain amount of time in your bank to make you feel okay. I'm suggesting 3 months. That made me feel okay. And I think that for most financial advisors and everyone say at least 3 months, right? Try to get away from the dollar amount as feeling okay. Because unless you have like hundreds of thousands of dollars, I'm telling you, even $100,000 divided into months is a finite amount of time. So the reason why I was able to last 15 years is because I had my 3 months, dip down a little bit, put it back, dip down, put it back, dip down, got a big job and got over 3 months. And then it kind of slowly went back. And then I got, you know what I mean? I basically kept padding my emergency fund until I got to almost a year, right? And once I got to a year, I'm totally focused on my business because I'm not worried about running out of money. Now running out of money is no longer this thing that I'm worried about, and I'm out of survival mode. You get what I'm saying? That's how it can work. So that's all I'm going to say for now. We'll come back to it, but thought I'd give you this little nugget. All right. Y'all take it easy. Have a great day. Bye.